you have a first-time buyer. Maybe let's just go with first-time buyer.
Yeah.
Right, and they are at true step one.
Yep.
They don't know anything about the process.
Yep.
What's like the first thing? What's your talk track that you're telling them to do? What's up, everyone? It's Chris from Homestead Funding, and today I am here with Rob from Acropolis Realty Group.
Hey, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for joining me here.
Yeah.
And you've been in real estate for, I think we said 5 years now.
Yes, my fifth year.
It's awesome. So let's jump into a little bit of your background and then kind of dive into so why real estate? So
Sure, absolutely. The past few years have been great. I've done over 120 transactions, consistently been in the 95th percentile of regions of agents in the area. What's great about real estate is when I'm meeting somebody that's looking to buy or sell a home, really, that is a pivotal moment in their life. And so if you've moved recently, you know nobody really wants to move.
Right.
Even with movers doing all that heavy lifting, it's a pain in the neck.
It's terrible.
And so, you're doing it for a purpose, and it's like meaningful inflection points in people's story. I'm getting married, or having a kid, we're expanding our family, or we're moving for a job, a new chapter of life, or our kids are gone and we're trying to reevaluate our priorities and simplify our lives, or we have bigger visions about what our lives could be, and we're at the season of life where we can now make our dreams a reality in terms of something bigger, beautiful, or more land, or whatever that dream is. And I really like being able to be a part of that.
let's just go with first-time buyer.
Yeah.
Right, and they are at true step one.
Yep.
They don't know anything about the process.
Yep.
What's like the first thing? What's your talk track that you're telling them to do?
The first thing I tell them to do is talk to a lender. And this is super important for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, they got to establish their budget.
Mm-hmm.
Not only their budget in terms of what price range we want to be looking at, but their price range in terms of how much cash they're going to need to close. Because especially in New York State, where our property taxes are so high,
Yep.
that's often a dollar amount that buyers might not realize that they need to come up with a portion, or sometimes 100% of the annual property taxes to put that in escrow. And so I want to make sure that they understand the difference between a down payment and total closing costs and cash to close. And so that's a nuance that I can explain conceptually and make sure that they understand the vocabulary, and I can give them very general numbers that I feel like are accurate based off of what their goals are. But at the end of the day, I really feel more comfortable once they've talked with the lender and they understand what they can afford, top line, and then what that's going to mean for them, cash to close.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I come in, right? Where someone might be able to afford a $3,000 a month payment,
Yep.
but they might not necessarily like it because that might not fit with
Yes.
their budget,
Yep.
right? Because life happens, number one, and number two, I don't take into account electric bills, all your subscription services. So it's really important to have your budget established and figure out where you're comfortable in a monthly payments perspective. But you also mentioned, taxes, right, and escrow,
Sure.
getting prepaid set up,
Yeah.
and closing costs.
Absolutely.
You might not be comfortable with $50,000 right out of your pocket,
Yep.
right? Because again, life happens, and there might be some things that you want to do to the house. So talking to a lender where they can kind of give you that estimated cash to close, give you that estimated monthly payment on a particular house, because we're able to pull the tax bills and give you the actual number, right? So it makes it so everybody is kind of on the same page. Everybody knows what to expect.
It's essential. It's
yeah.
essential, really. Obviously, I don't want to be showing houses to somebody that can't get financing, right? And so there's an element of, from my perspective, qualifying my leads to make sure that they can buy a house. But for the most part, that's really not why I'm really highly suggesting they talk to a lender first. It really is because it's just such an important conversation to have.
I think that is a huge reason of why it's so important to talk to a lender, because it's not that, you don't have to fit into this box, right? 20% down, that's not, you don't need 20% down.
Yeah.
But also every single borrower's situation is different.
Yep.
Right? So it's super important to make sure your budget's squared away, but then talk to a lender so you can back into where you're comfortable in terms of that monthly payment,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Essential. First step.
Yeah. Rob, thanks for stopping in. Ton of great information.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris.
Absolutely. If you are interested in working with Rob, his contact information will be right at the end of this video.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thanks for having me.